My name is Kevin Reineman. I am the Director of Technology as well as 7th, 8th, and 9th grade technology teacher at Calvert Catholic Schools in Tiffin, Ohio. I also host the Magic Potion EDU podcast and run the blog teacherstechtoolbox.com. A lot of states are starting to have the same thing happen that is going on in Ohio right now, which is being shut down, on a closure for the coronavirus. And a lot of teachers, educators are, this is unprecedented. We haven't had something like this occur before. Some states are maybe used to having a few days off in a row for school, maybe as much as a week. But our governor earlier this week said schools, K-12 schools are closed on an extended spring break for the next 3 weeks. So as educators, something we're not used to, we're trying to find what it is that we're going to do. So I am putting together this presentation for you as a way to get started. You can see the bit.ly link at the bottom of this slideshow on the screen here, and this is going to be a living, breathing document. There's tons of materials out there, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So this video today is going to be my base that I'm going to build off of, and inside of the slideshow I'm going to build more tutorial videos as time allows. And I'm just looking to offer my thoughts and suggestions on things that you can do in your classroom to take it from a traditional classroom to this virtual environment that we're all being thrown into. So first and foremost, thank you for being teachers. Thank you for being educators. Thank you for answering the call to serve your community and help out build the future for your local community, your state, and our country. Being a teacher is not an easy thing to do. Okay, I appreciate everything you do, and this is added stress that makes it difficult. But we'll get through it. And while we get through it, we are showing our students resiliency and being able to problem solve and move forward. So it's important that we remain calm and we show our students what we hope they do at the same time. So I'm calling this the space between us, shorten the gap in distance learning. As I said, there's going to be a lot of tools in here. I'm just going to give you an overview of ideas, and then if it's something that sounds good to you, go investigate a little bit further. I wanted to get this out on a Saturday so you have a few days before Monday comes around that maybe you can add something to your virtual classes for Monday. And going forward, I'm going to create more tutorials on each specific tool and just keep adding it. So save the link to this presentation, and as it grows, refer back to it, and feel free to share it with anyone you think could use this. So here we go. All right, so tools for distance instruction. The goal of this presentation is simply to offer tools that support an engaging online experience for students, while also providing a meaningful academic experience. So instead of just putting up worksheets, let's try to find things that are engaging the students, that make them want to actually go to their computer and check in with their teacher and see what's going on. I've been on the phone a lot talking to other districts, talking to teachers in my school. Shout out to Mrs. Whitty. We were talking a little bit earlier, and her a teacher down the hall from her, Mrs. Fiesel, they're going back and forth, and they're talking about this neat little idea where the teacher's going to record a simple little video just to check in. They're going to post it to Dojo, and every day they're going to do something different, a different room in their house, or maybe they're wearing a different hat or a different jacket or something that stands out, so that the students each day want to come back to, oh, what's new today? So that's a simple little thing you can do to get them interested in coming back and seeing what's next. So that's how you can set the hook, as Dave Burgess would say, and reel them in to get to that area where you can offer academic experiences. So here's some tools that I think we should use. First of all, you need to have a learning management system. Almost every school I talk to any day, they have something, whether it's Canvas or Google Classroom or Moodle, they are using something. So my suggestion with so many schools using Chromebooks is to use Google Classroom. If your school is using something else, then use what you have in place. That structure is already there. Hopefully you've already been using it with your students so they're comfortable with it. Okay, some of the feedback I got from our teachers as we were talking is use Classroom to post and receive the assignments. So not only do you post the assignment to Google Classroom, but make sure that your students are aware that they can turn those assignments back into you, so we don't have to try and organize times to deliver things or worry about using the mail or anything like that. Use Google Classroom to communicate, to send those messages to your students, to post videos like I was saying with those teachers just a minute ago. A key thing to do when you're posting an assignment to Google Classroom is make sure you add a due date. If your students are diligent at checking Google Calendar, if you add a due date to an assignment on Google Classroom, that assignment will then show up on their calendar. So then when they're sitting at home with the parents, they can just take a look at their Google Calendar and they can at a glance see what assignments are due when, and it's like the planner that they would have in their hands when they're in your class filling it out. Well, now we made that digital. Now mom and dad can see it and everything. If your school has it turned on, there's that option to post summaries to guardians. That's a great tool, especially for the younger levels, so that they can be kept in the loop. And don't forget, when you're creating assignments inside of Google Classroom, there is the opportunity for differentiation by using the assigned to specific students. So when you're posting an assignment, there's a little check mark that by default just does every student in that class. Well, if you select on that, look down and you can check off certain students. So you can create different assignments for different classes. Maybe you just put all of your 7th graders into one Google Classroom, but when they were in your room, they were at 2 different spots. Well, you can create an assignment that's just checked off for this half of the class, another one that's checked off for this, until you can get them on the same page. Or if it's something like you're creating an assignment and you need to adjust the amount of multiple choice guesses, options on the assignment, well, then you can make 2 different assignments. Make the big one, assign that to the entire class, go back and make the second one by just making a copy of it and deleting a few of the options, and then make another assignment in Classroom and only assign it to those that need that. So there's that option for differentiation right there. Next, let's let the students speak as well. Let's hear their voice. Number one tool for that's going to be Flipgrid. If you haven't used it, the students are going to feel like Classroom Snapchat kind of. There's fun little stickers they can put over top and filters they can use. But as a teacher, you can record a video of yourself where you're explaining, you're prompting the question, and then the students can submit responses to you. I use this quite a bit at the university level as a simple little check for understanding, or to get feedback and start a conversation that we might not be able to have in person. So you can record a video, you post it as a topic inside of Flipgrid to all the students, and then they just create their response. Okay, you also have the option where they can interact with each other, or you have it set to where they can't see each other. So take a look at those. Like I said, I'm sorry that I'm not doing in-depth tutorials. I just want to keep this short and sweet and give you things that if it sounds interesting, go check it out on your own. And as I can, I'm going to go and create tutorials for each one of these specific tools and come back later. So feel free. I'll post I'll embed the videos in this slideshow later on down the line. All right, so video-based instruction. Hangouts and Meet. Being Google districts, most schools have Hangouts and Meet. Some have them turned off, some have them turned on. There's a lot of questions on the chat features and those sort of things, but as a base level, we got to get something in place and get going. Hangouts and Meet are great options. So you can add students to a virtual room, and you can start having that conversation. If it's turned on, you can actually record that and save it for later. This is an opportunity to allow students collaborate as well. And if you want to do something like this, you can do screen share. So if you have a slideshow that you would have used in class for your lecture, it's a perfect opportunity where you can pull up that slideshow, hit the screen share, and get rolling with that. So Hangouts and Meets, that's probably the first place I'd suggest people go to. It's built in the Google platform, so it's really easy for you and your students to get to as long as your school has that open and ready to go. I was speaking with a gentleman at a different district earlier today, and he was telling me that his teachers are going to offer office hours using Google Hangouts, I believe is what I said. It was either Hangouts or Meet. So the teachers are going to be in school, let's just say from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that is their office hours. So they post a link to the Hangout, and anytime during that time frame, if a student wants to check in, they just simply hit the Connect Now button or Connect a Teacher, or they click on that link, and then it takes them right into that classroom where the teacher's at, or if they're at home working remotely, then the teacher is available for the student to offer direct assistance, or if they are going to address the same question with multiple students. It's a great opportunity for things like that. Okay, I just have fun saying this, Loom Zoom. These are two completely different software programs to use, and they have different purposes, but they're just kind of fun to say together, Loom Zoom. Okay, Loom is actually what I'm using to record this. It is a screencasting video program. I like it more than, like, QuickTime is built into the Apple MacBooks and iMacs and all that type of stuff, but it doesn't allow you to put the video in like what you're seeing down here in the corner. If you didn't notice me before, here I am. So it, from what I've heard and what I've experienced with doing online distance learning type things, having your voice and having your face in front of the students helps get them in that school frame of mind. Instead of just sitting there and letting something play in the background, they're hearing their teacher or they're seeing their teacher. So that really helps. So using a screencast like this is a good way to create your lessons, especially if you've been interested in a flipped classroom model in the past. This is the perfect opportunity to start investigating a little bit more and seeing how it works. So use Loom. They're offering an extended period where they lifted the maximum minutes on the free accounts. That's gone for now, as their attempt to help teachers in our situation right now. And I believe the pro version is available as well. I'm going to look into that as I get the opportunity moving forward. Zoom, same type of thing. They are offering their program for free for teachers to help in this situation to make sure that education doesn't stop. So the difference between Loom is a screencasting. So it's just you as a teacher recording what's on your computer screen. So if you're doing a flipped classroom model and you want to record your instruction, I can even go full screen with myself here. Maybe I had a whiteboard in the back. I could actually just record me doing my lecture on the whiteboard in the classroom and post that. Zoom is different because it is a video conference. So a lot like I was talking about with Google Hangouts and Google Meet, Zoom is, I haven't used it myself yet. I'm looking into it. There's a lot of buzz amongst the tech coordinators that this is the one to go with. It's more secure. It's easier to use. There's no software to install or anything like that. Teachers can just push a button and get going with it. So as I investigate that, I will definitely come back to the slideshow and add information as I get it in. So Loomy Zoomy, just fun to say. Okay, another one that I haven't had a chance to check out yet. This one is called Unhangout. I believe it's with MIT. It's something that they are working on. So they're pushing this more for older kids, more for like the college level, but I could see it easily being used in high school level, where the teacher can do a lecture where they're just directly talking to their students, much like you could do with Hangouts or Meet or Zoom. But this also gives an opportunity for group breakouts. So a teacher can do different breakout topics, and the students can go to those, and then they go into their own separate room where they're talking about those specific topics. And then they can come back. So this gives a whole new level of collaboration, and it does have a chat feature where the students can be working together while everything else is going on. So there's the video right over here. This is directly from them. I'm not going to play it during the slideshow, but you have the link to get back to the slideshow to check out that video. It's on YouTube, so it kind of gives you a better idea of what's going on there. So I can't wait to check that out. I think I could definitely use it with my high school kids, maybe my junior high kids. I don't know if they have the maturity level to be able to go with that on their own, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Next, I'm going to look at tools where we can embed questions. So this is going to be similar to doing like a worksheet that you're used to, but let's put some content in it. These students are growing up in a media-rich environment. They are used to videos everywhere. It used to be pictures got your attention. Now it's, if it's a static image, kind of dull that out. So videos are a good way to grab attention. There's tons of educational material out there. So here's a couple programs that we could use for doing that type of stuff. So Edpuzzle is probably the number one that people have heard of when you bring up, okay, I've got YouTube videos I want to show. How can I put questions in them? Edpuzzle, that's the one people go to. Vizia is another program very similar to that you're going to take a video from YouTube or Khan Academy or wherever your video platform is. They seem to be linked with the majority of them out there. So you can take your video, assign it to your class, which Edpuzzle will actually pull from Google Classroom. So that saves you a lot of work of trying to get your students on board with it, because it will just pull it right over and then your students have access. But you find a video that works for you, you add that video, and then you can trim it. So let's say you have a 20-minute video, but you want to keep it under 10 minutes. So you just trim the sides to get it to that block that you want. You can do a voiceover where they're going to hear your voice. Maybe it's pausing the video and you're explaining what's going on. A lot of times when I'm in my classroom using videos, I pause, I expand on what the video is saying. I use that time to go walk around. So here's a chance where you can use voiceover to do that. And you can also put in extended response and multiple choice questions as well. So Vizia and Edpuzzle will both do those. Edpuzzle is probably going to be my go-to that I'm going to recommend to people. But if you're interested, go check out those two. I see this as being something that's going to be very useful in the situation that we have right now. Actively Learn is the same idea, only it's PDF based. So you find a website and you want to, or a PDF, and you want to embed questions in it. This is going to be a great option for that. So Actively Learn is going to take your reading assignments and embed questions directly into it, instead of read and then now come back and fill out a Google form or fill out a worksheet digitally or something. Actively Learn is going to merge those together. Kami is a kind of think of it as like an add-on to Google Classroom. They have free versions, they have district-wide versions, but Kami allows you to annotate PDFs. So you can assign a PDF worksheet or whatever it is to your students, and inside of Google Classroom, they have a full set of annotative tools that they can write directly on their assignment and then turn back into the teacher. So no more printing needed. We don't have to send packets home. We can just do everything inside of Google Classroom there. All right, here's a couple content-based tools that I'm going to recommend to folks out there. Number one, Freckle. They're listed as being K-12 math. I kind of see them more as like that 4 to 8 range, but they do list it as K-12. They've expanded over the past few years to not just being like math ELA, but now they also have social studies and science. The cool thing about them is they're adaptive, so the students will take, if you select it, they'll take a like entry-level test where Freckle will gauge where they're at. So they'll keep asking tougher and tougher questions until the student fails, so they can get a true idea of where that student is at and then start building the questions going forward. So it's a fun little thing. As a student answers questions, they're engaged because they're going to gain coins so that they can change the outfit of their little pig character, whose name is Freckle. Prodigy Math. This is a fun one that a lot of people have talked about in the past. It's kind of like Harry Potter meets math. It's wizards and wizardry and stuff, to where it's game-based, so you have to answer questions in order to attack the computer characters. So students get engaged with the math. You can track by standards and go from there to get your students practicing math at home. So this is one I recommend, not just for the situation we're in, but it's a way to really get students engaged in how to incorporate technology into math class. So that's my presentation for now. It's going to be growing. I know it's kind of short right now, but I just want to get something out there so you can get your mind rolling on how can I do stuff in my classroom starting now. As I get more tools available, I'll keep adding to it. Like I don't have a slide for Newsella. They just announced that they're going to be free as well for schools in this situation where we're closed for an extended period of time. That's definitely one I should include on the slide, but as this goes forward, I will make a new one. I will include them, and as I can make a tutorial for them specifically, I'll add that in as well. So I'll be embedding videos in this slideshow, so always refer back to it. And for that link, let me go all the way back to the beginning. You know, I could just do it the easy way and click the button to go back, but this gives you a little look at everything as we talked about. All right, there's the link at the very bottom, http://bit.ly/distance20. Remember that these links are case sensitive, so that D is capitalized, distance 20. Thank you so much for listening. Please feel free to share this with any teachers you know, and let's all support each other. Thank you.